Hello, everyone. My name is Jesus Gomez. I am so excited to be here today in EchoExperience. I have been with Google for over 7 years. I'm one of the co-founders of the Google Cloud for Education team. Jeff, Catherine, and the rest of the Echo team invited me to join this great event and share what gets us excited at Google about the next generation AI, how we are planning to bring that innovation into education, and more importantly, how we are seeing institutions like yours embracing and using this type of technology every day. As you know, everything started at Stanford for us. Sergey and Larry invented Google out of a research lab. From that day, we have been truly committed to education. Indeed, if you look at our mission, making the information accessible and useful for everyone is actually an educational goal. For us, education is about all types of learners. When we think about developing technology for education, it has to be technology that helps pre-K, K-12, higher education, people that are in the workforce and are looking for upskills for a better job, or anybody out there that is just looking for some type of information, whether to go to Google, or to go to YouTube, to get the last receipt for how to cook a good paella. I wanted to start with a question, just to make sure that you are all awake. I have seen that many of you are joining overseas. How many R&D projects does Google have around AI? Let's see, let's give you some time. Do you think we are in the 100, in the 1,000, more than 1,000? We just cover how committed we are to education, but the other aspect is how committed we are to AI. Actually, since Sundar joined our company as a CEO, he committed to AI. He said, Google is the AI company. And indeed, if you look at the slide, you will see that since 2014, we have created more than 7,500 projects just around responsible AI. Those projects are currently empowering services that you use daily. Services like Google Search, services like Google Maps, services like YouTube. Services that change the way that people interact with technology through responsible AI. All right, many of you actually got it right, more than 7,000 projects in leading AI. So we are committed to education, and we are committed to AI. The next thing that we're going to see is when we develop services and we think about bringing innovation to learners, we do this by making sure that that innovation is simple, so everyone can use it, is secure, so you don't have to worry about your data, and it actually helps you to overperform, to do more things faster. And this is, when we started and we launched Gmail in 2006, and we told people, you know what, you will never have to install SharePoint servers anymore. You will not have to worry about security for email, and you will be able to access email from any device. Many of them told us you are crazy. And today is something natural, right? So this is the type of simple, secure, and speed service that we are looking for education. But education in the last few years, especially post-pandemic, is changing rapidly. These are the challenges that you are facing today. We are not serving only the traditional learner. We are getting a new generation of learners. Many of them looking for hybrid micro-credential training. Those learners are also very used to their consumer experience, to having a personalized experience. And they are expecting us to deliver the same for them. And if they don't see that their education has a return, they're going to drop out of school. Instead, we are suffering the lowest graduation rates in the industry in the last 2 decades. On top of that, we are being targeted of cyber threats. So you, as an institution serving learners, you have to help learners to create more content that is relevant particularly to them, much more effectively and in a secure way. This is a big challenge you are addressing today. When we think about education, we think about, okay, the technology that we develop for education has to ensure that it's affordable, so every student out there can access education, has to ensure accessibility, regardless of your disabilities, regardless of what kind of device do you have access to, and has to ensure a high quality of education. For us to be able to hit these 3 goals, we develop solutions that help to attract and enroll all type of students. So we develop a diverse pipeline of talent in our industry. We support that student so that we make sure that they can graduate, and we help that student to find the better job possible in the local job market. This is how we think about bringing innovation to education. If you think about it, for us as a partners to be able to achieve this, we have to bring the best data and AI in 4 main areas. And you are going to know how institutions like yours are actually doing this today. These 4 areas are about transforming the academic operation, so you bring agility and effectiveness to the day-to-day operation. You can get back to the learners sooner. You give them an experience of the future, a modernized experience that change the way that you engage and support the student. The 3rd area is not only about providing better support to students, it's about learning from them, how you can gain insight about their experience managing and accessing content. More importantly, how can you predict how their preference or behaviors are going to shift in the future so you can proactively get ready to it. And finally, you need to help your student to be better prepared for the rapidly changing job market. So they can do better in their lives, they can be happy about your institution, and they can go back to continue education later on. Second question of the day. You have seen the 4 areas: academic operations, classroom of the future, learning insight, and alumni and employability. Have you started to apply data and AI in any of these areas? Let's give you some time. If you have not started to apply in any of the areas, you are the one with the highest upside here. So don't worry about it. It is awesome. So I'm seeing already that you are applying data and AI to most of the areas. This is really exciting. And as you may have experienced, really challenging as well. So our job as your partner is making this as easy as possible. I love this Echo Poll tool. Very interactive, very visually. Well done. So I'm going to give you examples of how people are using this technology on the day-to-day operation. Okay? Some best practices that we have observed, and we just want to share it with you. Let me start with, before I do that, I wanted to pause for a second because a lot of people are asking us about, hey, we are hearing this generative AI and how this is going to change the industry, especially education. What's Google thinking about this, right? Just wanted to remind you that Google is one of the first tech companies that published the Google AI principle. Sundar in 2018 said, like, AI is our core priority, and this is how we're going to do it. Before we release any technology to all of you, we have to make sure that AI is socially beneficial, that it doesn't create or reinforce any bias, is built for safety and security, and it upholds the highest standard of academic excellence and scientific excellence. We also have published the type of application that we are not going to pursue as a company. It's not only about developing AI services responsibly, it's about helping you to use them responsibly. And this is what we are doing as well. We are sharing with everyone, hey, this is how we do it at Google. If you want to do it like us, this is the best practices. We are helping to implement product reviews, whether you are Googler developing a product or a partner that is developing the platform on top of our product. Lastly, and less importantly, we are abstracting complexity from everyone so that we are sure that when you use a service, you are using responsibly and you are protected and you are safe. Let's give you some example of, I think we skip one slide. Okay. Let's give you just some example of how we are seeing that people are using this type of technology with academic operation. Okay. One example is Michigan State University. During COVID, they couldn't bring international students. It's 25% of their population. They use this type of technology to actually pivot their marketing and their enrollment operations and change to an in-state target operation. That means reaching out to people at the right time with the right message, helping to process digitally those applications, even when people were taking pictures of their transcripts, do the translation, correlate the information, see how many credits you can carry on, etc., and automatically enroll. This is important because if you read the last Atlassian market research, 80% of grad students end up enrolling in the institution that gets back to them first. So the faster you get back to your students, the more likelihood they end up enrolling in your institution. Michigan State adopted this type of technology, and they have reported that within the first year of implementation, they have seen $5 million in increase in tuition revenue. Okay? So they are not only offsetting the decline of international students, they are bringing more students, and more importantly, more local students to the university. Sorry about this. This slide was supposed to be before, but this is just about generative AI. You may be asking, hey, we're hearing about the generative AI for Google. How do you think about it? Many of you think actually that we are late to the game, and we are not late to the game. Just a little bit of background. Everything about generative AI is based on a technology that is called the transformer. The transformer was actually invented by Google in 2017. I don't know if you remember that Google I/O demo where Sundar was using the assistant to make a restaurant reservation. That was the transformer experience. Indeed, if you see all the green dots, those are models that we have developed about conversation, search, translation, security. We open that model to the community as an open source with the hope that the community can get that model, build on top of it, and make it better for you. Luckily, we have seen that the industry have done that. Companies like OpenAI, Meta, they are all using this open source technology to build great technology that are going to help you to change the way that you engage with the learners. Our commitment as a Google is not being the first to release something, is making it right. Right? And this is what we have been doing very intentionally. Now we are infusing the technology into the services so that you can get that done right. Let's show you some example. Optimize academic operation. We just went over the example with Michigan State. It's just how people are using this type of technology to bring all type of students, even from minorities, to their institution. Like you can, for example, optimize the financial aid that you offer to every student based on the background. So you help enrolling as many students as possible, regardless of their income. Once you have brought to your institution, you have to make sure that that student is set for success. And I'm going to show you some example of how institutions are doing this. The challenge that we have, as I have explained before, is that we have all type of learners. Many learners may be looking for a traditional programs. Other learners may be looking just for a part-time program. Maybe somebody said, like, you know what, I am a product manager. I wanted to be a product manager at Google. And I may not even have a technical background. You have to be able to define the best path for that learner to achieve their goal. And that's not an easy task. So how are institutions doing this today? We love using analogies at Google, and we say, like, this is the Google Maps of education, right? You want to go, you are in point A, you want to go to point B, and we help you to give you 3 options. Do you want to go through train, through flight, through bike? In education, it's the same. If you look at what Southern New Hampshire University is doing, it's like, okay, I know who you are. I know what you want. Let me show you the options that you have. Then you can choose. But I'm helping you with a personalized recommendation. This is shifting to a learner-centric model. So what this institution is doing is they are getting the local job market. They are analyzing based on the local job market. This is the skills that you are going to need in the next 6 months to 2 years. And based on your profile, this is the type of program that we recommend to you. And we create like a playlist of education for you, right? We recommend you this core curriculum, this supplemental curriculum, giving the learner a great experience and helping the learner to actually link in the institution with a minimum barrier and assure that a student can actually get graduated. Okay, so you help the student to enroll. You define that playlist for the student. How do you help and track that student during the academic life cycle so that they keep engaged? You may have seen many of these demos happening right now. The industry is starting to think about the interactive tutor. Right? How you can bring this AI responsible. And you can have a professor to actually upload their content, whether it's a slide, Google Docs, you name it. And it creates like a private virtual tutor, 24/7 in more than 100 languages. This is the possibility of providing a private tutor even to people that cannot afford it. So I remember always when I went to class that I liked the class and the professor say, oh, if you like the class, go and read these 2 or 3 more papers. Nobody ever tests me on that paper. This is a possibility that you can have to extend the learning outside of class. An example is Walden University. Walden University, for those that don't know, is the institution that trained more healthcare professionals in US. And they are using this technology to provide private virtual tutoring to nursing and early childhood master learners. Great engagement, great possibility of actually just providing a 24/7 experience. The best thing at all this technology is integrating in the tool that you use today. So you do right click, you join. For the learner, it's pretty seamless experience, right? So this is how education, it just feels natural for them. I want to also highlight the great work that Andy Payne and Shanda team has done on Echo 360, thinking about how they're going to embrace this technology. It's an example, actually, they created this slide for us. It's an example of how magic happens when you give good technology to people that are talented and know about EDU. Right? And this is an example of how this disruptive technology can be promoting the existing eco solutions to the next level and can help to make professors be more efficient, to have the student actually a better experience, to make learning more interactive and more personal. Whether it's EchoExam, EchoVideo, EchoEngage, multimodal transformation, text, audio, video is great for experience, is great for accessibility. So all learners, regardless of who you are or your preference, will experience this modernization. One of the things that most probably you are very familiar with, many of you that have answered the question about academic operation and student support, you will see that you're already playing with this student support, but I don't know if you actually, as a consumer, you use, you go to your bank account website or you have a question any time of the day, and it's actually you are looking for a good personalized answer right now. And even for me, if you can give it in Spanish, even better, because my English is not that good, right? So this is the way that you can offload the common questions and tasks, and you can focus your time on personal interaction in the things that really matter. And this is an example, like sharing use two type of example, one of a very small school, one of a very large school. They are automating more than 90% of the automated question and processes today. Their team is now providing a very personalized, by appointment experience to the student. The best thing is when you offload some of these tasks, this institution is sharing with us, Jesus, this is great, because right now I have the possibility of every morning knowing what are my students happy about, what are they unhappy about, and where I should focus next time. What makes my institution different, and I had to double better. It's a great way of learning from your student. This example is really interesting. It's about how Project Hub in Flourish Lab has developed a solution for mental health. And this is free of use, by the way. You can deploy in your institution at no cost. Okay. What is great is basically when I enroll as a student, I put my preference, and I can add my circle of trust. Friends that I know, or people that I think, I feel reflected on this user group, I want to join that user group. Anonymously, they are sharing how they feel. Hey, I feel sad because of this, I feel angry because of that. They help each other anonymously. And it is helping with learner satisfaction and with mental health. It helps also to keep the learner engaged between, even if you have a doctor support in your academic institution, between appointments. It is a great way of how people are thinking about this technology differently to help even with the biggest challenge, like mental health. So we talk about operation, we talk about support. What about creating the content? This is important. And what we are bringing is, okay, people like YouTube, for example. You have seen like how videos can be translated to multiple languages, how you can add transcription in real time. We thought like everyone should have this experience. And what we do is opening these technologies so platform like Echo 360 can actually build the technology on this and can translate the content on real time. Even yesterday I was in California talking to Samsung, and I was speaking in English, they were speaking in Japanese, and it was real time. We didn't need a translator in the middle. Pretty cool. So we are going to help institutions to actually create metadata from their content and make an intelligent catalog it and search. And this is pretty fantastic, because if you see example like New York Times, you will have New York Times use this technology, and thanks to this technology, actually they turn into profit. And think about what you can do as an institution, as a platform. You get your content, it creates automatic smart tags from that content, and you can provide personal recommendation to the learner. hey, you're interested in this. This paper talk about supply chain, or talk about Walmart, or talk about Chicago, automatically an intelligent personal recommendation. Top of that, as you consume the content, we help you to say like, oh, these are what people are enjoying, these are what people are not liking, and we can predict even the demand of certain content. So institutions are using this for curriculum development. They're like, okay, I know my learners are more engaged in this type of content, so I should actually focus on creating content in that profile. Consortia that are supporting millions of students are actually using this technology today, as well as edtech companies that are just developing content for online learners. So this is something that is already proven to be changing transformation. And just the last slide of the day, and it's about how people are embracing data and AI to change career services and alumni engagement. One of the examples I like the most is Mayo Clinic is one of the most renowned healthcare systems globally. And they suffer, like 40 out of 50 states in the US, they suffer of healthcare professional shortage. And they wanted to partner with University Minnesota Rochester, so like, can you create a diverse workforce for us? They are using this technology to help bring even minorities to provide the best experience and incorporate them in the work with a very high skill profile as effective as possible. So thank you very much for this time. I hope you learn a little bit about how we think about education, about how institutions like yours are adopting this type of technology. And I look forward to seeing you later today in the panel. Thank you.